think there's some music somewhere. Who knows? Maybe it's a little bit of a slow starter. But regardless, hello everyone. Welcome into episode 26, season 2 of Pariahs. But what is going on with this? This is creaking. Let's have something a bit more. There we go. Aha. Cheers. It's Sunday, which means D&D day again. Oh, let's just bring everyone in.
You know, you're a badass.
I mean, I am.
You're a badass. Cool.
Hey, you heard it here first, chat. If the cap fits. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Talking him up so that he does better in D&D.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how it works, but you know, why not? Episode 26. Welcome in, players. We're back doing the usual thing. Me making silly voices and you making silly decisions. Or Vanya making silly decisions.
No, they're all like planned.
Well thought out. Yeah.
They work out in the end. That's all that matters.
I mean,
It's because
that's
everybody
fair.
else is so fucking adaptable.
I have an amazing team, and they're there to support me. And when I decide to go a different direction, that they are right there alongside me. They're amazing. I appreciate every single one of you.
What do you want, Vanya? What are you creeping for?
Hugs from all of them.
It's not happening. With that said, though, let's pick things up with you, Vanya. Last week, we started with your continuation of where you came from, did we not?
Yes. So they had the week before experienced some sea serpentage, and we started the last session going in to the academy, and they got to experience Vanya's schooling world, and got to also see what she did with her time there. Not only was she learning, but she was dissecting the undead and really developing her whole twisted reality on the world and how she can change individuals for what she perceives to be better. But then also came to realize that they weren't alone in that dream, that there were multiple very strong beings trying to rip at the fabric of that dream, and that they were not wanted in that dream at all. And when they had left, they had seen a sight that Vanya wanted to see before leaving that dream, really, because of when she was in the school, and it was just kind of well known in her city that of the 10 that went to the academy, only 9 came back, and she wanted to see what happened to that 10th. And they had seen kind of a ceremony of some sorts with
graduation.
Graduation, one would say. And they were kind of elevated from this and only seeing kind of like an overview, but there was a dark figure. And as the ceremony was commencing, they were kind of pulled away back into the dreamscape. and then we explored Reza's dreams.
We
I
did.
don't know, did I leave anything out? Does anybody have anything to add to mine?
No, you did a good job. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I remembered for once.
So
It's
having,
like it was your backstory.
I mean, who
No, right?
So having delved into the past of Vanya, where she came from, the Ravencourt Sanctuary north of Novostoya, a almost warring faction against the Crimson Court. For those in the know, the implications of that could be pretty dire. But back in the dreamscape, the ocean of dreams with the nightmares below, you were then pulled downwards under the waves. Reza, why was that? Where did you come from?
Well, first there was the first part of the dream, which was a cozy little scene in a slightly less dingy and rundown Kartov, where we saw Reza as a little girl named Maria and her family having a moment together by the fireplace, and then it all just kind of melted away into the city below, which is where Maria died and Reza was born. And they witnessed not so much the transformation, but the immediate events leading up to it and after it, and participated in Maria murdering her entire adventuring party. And then somehow, because maybe someone wasn't concentrating as much as they should be, a fresh vampire spawn turned on our party. But not to worry. I think Vanya managed to pull her shit together and yoink us away. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Delve into how Reza came to be Reza. I hate to say the word, but shenanigans from the city below and all the other crazy stuff culminated in the vampire we know and some love more than others we have today.
What's this some bullshit? She is loved by all.
But with that said, though, that's 3 members down with 2 to go. So let's go back to the eye-bleeding flashbang that is the dreamscape. Here, the currents are starting to grow somewhat choppy. What was once just calm ocean now seems to be almost roiling in the distance. You'd see the occasional hand rise from the chromatic sheen of the ocean, that of the nightmares below starting to reach upwards. Dorian.
Descending once more below the waves. Somewhere in the real world, Dorian is gripping that urn that he has very tightly as this begins to happen and everyone sinks down again. And before too long, they approach something. It's almost like a stage play, like a scene set about just in the void. And it is that of a Victorian-esque bedroom. The periphery of the room is more of a suggestion than anything. And this is something similar to what has been known to the audience before. Just a sick room for a child in a very wealthy family. And the party being just outside of this can make out the suggestion of a woman without a lot of defined features, and a child in the bed. And there's just this very dour sense of dread. As then, let's see what. I think that would be a good time for people to roll a perception.
Perception. Shit.
Oh, everyone's
Wow.
on point.
Shit, okay. I was thinking 14 would be a good target number, so as everyone's standing there looking at this, there is this almost like a viscous barrier around this room. And as you're looking in at this, there is like something is pressing against it from the outside that is unseen, and like it's trying to get in. And it, after the claws and fangs of this thing are apparently making shape, it isn't long before it is propelled backwards. Like it can't get past this barrier that's there.
Vanya, just for my sake, roll me a concentration check, please. Just to give me something to work with off the bat.
And
Okay.
so Dorian, however, is going to step beyond this barrier into the room and wave his hand, like inviting everyone to come to this side.
Sci-fi will follow.
Vanya does as well.
As will Garrett.
Reza probably will. But she's predisposed.
Very well. So stepping across this threshold, it's very reminiscent of like the upper scale buildings that we've seen in Nova Stoya. It's to the extent that you know instantly this is some like noble's house. And in the bed, the child, you can see that it's basically a much less uncanny valley version of Desmond. And the woman by the bed appears to be a mothering figure with a veil over her face. Like, it's not quite clear why it's there, but this is definitely a scene of Desmond being sick, and before whatever happened that resulted in Desmond as you knew him being created.
Yes, Reza would follow.
Welcome back.
So would the veil be, would we get a sense of, would it be some kind of like disease that she's keeping herself from, or is this like a mourning veil? Like she's mourning you?
More to the effect of a mourning veil, because this child is on death's door. And also, to some extent, maybe she doesn't want her child to see her and just complete grief.
Can we tell what's wrong with the child?
Let me see.
Do you want to?
that
I
would
mean,
be-
a medicine check?
I would say it'd be a medicine check.
Okay.
Smashed it.
Yeah.
I see how the rolls are going to be tonight.
Very high. Essentially, it would be the equivalent of. It's not the weeping pox, but it's a. I would compare it to TB, like
All right.
consumption, and the child that does not have clearly not a lot of fortitude to them, and so he's just. It's just a casualty of the cruelty of nature and nature taking its course.
Would there be anything around to indicate that the family might have been desperate to save the boy and used alternative methods? Like papers or sigils or...
Here,
Mm-hmm.
not so much. Outside of the fact that the mother is apparently just completely out beside herself with grief.
What does it smell like in here?
And here, it smells like a mix of must and dust and also smoke from the fireplace that's going. And every once in a while you can see at the edge of the room, like where the beyond is, there's that faint clawing appearance, like something's still trying to make it past this barrier.
Okay.
And then beyond that, there's another stage that's there. And Dorian says to you all, well, this is very depressing, but I imagine this is within the last moments of young Desmond's memory, trapped in this urn, beyond reach of anything that would seek to make its way in.
What do you mean seek to make its way in?
Well, he's going to point at the wall where this face and hands are pressing against the outside like it's trying to make its way in. That.
What is
Yes.
it?
Yeah, has it always tried to make its way in?
For quite some time it did. Until it succeeded. But this is still safe, I suppose, from that old witch's magic. Infernal being that she is, and of her own right.
You
The
mean the
nurse has
meds?
so many tricks. Yes. And looking down, you can see in his hands, it's like the spectral imitation of the urn. This thing. Magic is such a fickle thing. Well, I see no reason to change that now. Not sure why she didn't make off with this.
What is it?
Well, I bargained with her that she could take all these memories and suffering and pain. Suppose she must have taken the better ones for herself and left the ones that are less exciting here.
Ah,
I wouldn't have minded if she had. They serve no use but to relive pain.
Fine, just keep an eye on your DMs through this, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Vanya is going to look down at the crystal and then ask, this thing trying to get at you, were you the only one who could see it? Was it in your dreams?
He smirks just a little bit. I don't think I've explained it properly. And as the scene shifts, it keeps the same kind of atmosphere, but it goes through familiar iterations where there's Desmond as you would see him, as you recall him, and everyone gathered around. Instances of being at the bar, instances of being out in the street. And before they all fade, this kind of gloom settles over the scene. And past this barrier, another light shows up. It looks like an alley somewhere in Novostoya.
You're going to see Vanya pull the crystal up to her lips and she's going to whisper into it. What do you mean by ungrateful?
Tell the old witch that she had her time.
Dorian, what does she mean by ungrateful? Is this a blessing? Is something a blessing?
Spoken like a parent that calls abuse tough love, done for the benefit of a child. It matters not anymore, though. I think over here is less protected. And Dorian is going to walk off of that stage towards this alleyway and just leading everyone after him.
Dorian, less protected. The nurse is protecting us right now. I sensed her in my dream.
She might be there. She's not protecting us.
come on, Dorian. Show us what there is to see here.
Opening up to this alleyway, it is something that some people will recognize. People who have been in the alleyways behind, like the many brothels of the Lamplight District, or the Lantern District, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And as everyone arrives, there is the image of Dorian, or in this case, Charlton Hestwood, being ejected from the back of one of these doors. A few men follow him out and absolutely just stomp the hell out of him. And Dorian just holds up a couple fingers. I don't think that this took very long. I thought it also done away with all of these.
A host memory.
Something like that, a shred or a scrap. Really just, it's like finding a splinter days later, after you thought you had the job done. And a minute or so goes by, and all of these people stop kicking the hell out of him. One rummages through his pockets, gets his purse, and they all go back into the building, leaving him in the street, cursing, just completely disheveled, obviously drunk beyond any kind of doubt as to whether or not he's stupefied, and dirty, worse off than anyone had probably seen him. And he's just there rolling around in this, trying to get his footing. And Dorian approaches him and offers him a hand to get him to his feet. Well, there's only so many opportunities you get to correct these things. And with his other hand, he just reaches over to this phantom figure of Dorian, and he just begins to incinerate and smolder, crackling and falling apart. Moments later, ashes hit the cobbles. One less errant vision to trouble me. And he looks up, and that same feeling of, or not feeling, but spectral image almost of something clawing is now reaching out. It's basically at the same space where he is, like in that same area where Charlton is burning, like it's whatever protected the other space isn't here. It's able to go and travel freely through this and reach in as needed.
I'm going to quickly dive in and ask Garrett, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Sure thing.
Whilst temperature's not usually a thing that you would consider, for someone such as you, Garrett, you're starting to feel warm, unpleasantly so, as if the temperature is slowly, since stepping into Dorian's memories, Dorian's dreams, that's what started cool in the house is now slowly starting to rise to a noticeable extent to you. Sorry, Vanya, go on.
Is this what you did to my sisters?
I've never touched any of your sisters. It is amusing that you think that, though.
But
Dorian?
you just destroyed. Oh, yes, I've.
Why does this feel more like a purge than a reminiscence?
Well, it's a vague memory. Not my reminiscence. I don't think you'd like to see mine, but if you wish. And where Charlton fell to the ground is his ashes. Everything there, that same burning effect starts spreading toward the ground through the mud. It doesn't make logical sense, but it just spreads and spreads until the entire surrounding is on fire, falling away like flash paper.
You're pure chaos, aren't you?
And what is left is a roiling, flaming waste of smoke and poison geysers and Now this This is a reminiscence of how long has it been? Trapped in that bauble, trapped in a mannequin, trapped in everything else. Unable to touch anything. And there's this glimmer almost of back at the first scene where it's the same scene, but it's from the perspective of something trying to push its way in rather than being something inside of the scene trying to, like, seeing something trying to make its way in. Like a dual perspective. This place. Oh, when the dark gods fell and their many greedy children sought to gobble up whatever was left. Take up their armaments, take up their legions. And ultimately they failed. They couldn't wield them quite the way that the old ones did. But still they sought to send messengers forth. And when the one messenger would go forth and do its work, the other side would send theirs. What else could they do? And he just looks around, giving a few moments for anybody who cares to ask anything, Ken.
What is this place?
Well, I think that you'd refer to it as hell, or one of them. Ever-shifting planes of chaos and flame and fire and other vile things.
Certainly is my idea of hell. Never been so hot in my life.
There are realms that are colder too, but this is the one that birthed me forth. And he points far off in the distance where there's like the raging volcano. Probably somewhere over there. Hardly matters. Just ashes and blinding flame, shadow, all wrapped together. Reminder for all those who pose the dark ones what waits for them in their resilience and their futile resistance. And he's looking off towards that distant swirl, just... he looks like he misses something, like it's a yearning.
What are you yearning for?
You seek power. Imagine having had that and lost it before. Something. Of course, Lamorna knows what that is. Back when I ran into her, I was something that even your nurse would have not cared to have tangled with.
But people change, right? They can change for the better.
More like a fire burning down to its embers.
Well,
The only change would be better was finding a way to rouse them.
But that doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes that means calmness. Fizzling out doesn't mean weakness.
I disagree. all things come to an end, but trying to find a new spark.
I admit to being very confused. Is this where you're from, Dorian?
Me? Yes. This, and he points to the body, like his hand. No.
Okay, so how did you get from here? And she like gestures to the area around them.
Which at this point, you would start to see from various cracks in the ground, pools of lava, the odd humanoid form reach out from the lava, the odd scream, the odd moan of the damned, before their hands just liquefy, turning back into liquid rock as it puddled on the ground. And at this, you would also start to see, just at the edges, slight shimmering. Do continue.
Not unlike that.
She. Wait, not unlike what?
Birth forth from flame and fire and despair.
Well, yes, but then how did you get from here to in there? And she sort of like taps on the chest of the body he is currently occupying.
Is it like those things that we, with the doctore, do you enter through the mouth?
Let's see if I can remember. And he's going to just close his eyes and start to think about one of the moments that is the most consternation to him in his entire existence, where he was struck down, like the former him was struck down and contained by gold-clad figures and
You would all get a brief scene that flickers through your mind. The details hazy, darkened, but you would feel a pull, a strain, a pain in your chest as stood in front of you, roughly 20 feet or so in the air, is what looks to be a black humanoid figure, completely black. Large wings sprouted from this obvious feminine form, gold eyes blazing with a gold radiant aura. A much more regal appearance to a being you've seen once before. Words are exchanged in a language that none of you would be familiar with. Cypher, roll me a history check quick. You don't understand the words spoken, but the language is in primordial. It's a ancient language. There is a large flash from a long scythe held in this seraph's hands before Dorian.
Well, so an off comment from Dorian is, as you can see, all have fallen from their former grace in one way or another. And as essentially he's struck down, seen from the outside, it's something. There's a figure of shadow and flame and bright light swirling on the other end of this, that's struck by this scythe. And it's almost like it compacts in on itself and is reduced to this smoking shard, which the Seraph scoops up and puts away in a box.
You were imprisoned.
Regrettably. Being a passenger and nothingness for so long. I don't know if this was 100 years ago or 1,000 or... Until the child, I don't remember much. But this place is a place that you do not want to tarry if Vanya has one of her episodes.
Funny you should say that. Because at the mention of the child, of being imprisoned, a prisoner, shackled, chained, perhaps, and again, this completely alien landscape, that of one of the lower planes, one of a plane of fire and brimstone, of hell itself. The ground begins to quiver beneath your feet. The souls of the damned start to cry out louder. You would see forms start to almost throw themselves out of these lava lakes that snake the landscape. And then, can everyone roll me a d12, please? Oh, 3, okay. So you go over there. Dorian, 11.
Oh, you want everybody to roll?
Everybody roll me a d12, please. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. And last but not least, Garrett. Oof. Oof. Okay. So, with the ground now starting to shake, the shimmers at the edges of your vision, that of the dreamscape twisting, contorting, perhaps Vanya's lack of concentration, just delving a little too far into Dorian's subconscious, or perhaps even a certain individual wishing to enact some twisted sort of joke. The ground beneath all of your feet begins to shift. In the center, a crack forms down the ground before starting to pull away. You are all jerked left, right, up, down, and pulled away as magma begins to boil up. Magma, when it breaks the surface, obviously becomes lava, for those who are going to shout at me later. So as this lava begins to bubble out of this crack in the middle of the ground, splitting off, an even deeper rumble occurs as this rock-like hand bursts out of the ground, followed by a second. And with a quick flick of the eye, you just see chains begin to clamp around the wrists of these two outstretched hands. Other chains then erupt from the ground, clamping onto the manacles, and from there, the souls of the damned mix with the screech as small flaming imps begin to claw their way out of the lava stream, followed by this large humanoid figure. Roll me initiative, please. with response to seeing this and this event occurring, any comments? Any words anyone wishes to shout as you are all pulled apart?
What the fuck?
This is some bullshit.
I want to speak to the manager.
She's over there, stood on a rock near the lava. But Dorian, you would see these things. You would immediately know what has stepped forth. You would know that they are fire imps and this large flaming creature. Well, I believe you may have even spoke about it earlier.
Yep.
So before we begin combat, shall we have a quick refresh, refill?
Yeah, because I'm parched.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So before we hit turn one, I'll show chat what's occurring. So over yonder, here we have Dorian, Reza, couple of imps. Below the imps, we have Vanya and Cypher. And then... I'm so sorry, Garrett.
It's a good thing I'm first on the old
Yeah.
initiative.
Yeah, that's why when you rolled a 6, I went, oh no. So yeah, you are next to this giant flaming creature, which I'm sure Dorian's going to regale as what this messenger is when we get back. So I'm going to take a moment, just refill on the drink, and we'll see how this goes. Well done, Vanya. You fucked it for everyone. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I never left.
Vanya, this is all your fault. She's not paid yet, is she? So I can't shout at her.
Nope.
Back.
Welcome back. I was just saying this is all your fault.
Oh my gosh, I'm already like getting threats from Enders.
So, with the ground cracking beneath your feet, lava bubbling up from below, these two giant shackled hands reaching towards the sky. Dorian, is there anything you wish to inform anyone about, or shall we just get straight into combat?
Well, the only thing that he's going to say, I should hope I don't have to say anything, but you might want to stay away from that if you're averse to a bit of fire.
You don't say.
Aren't we? I mean, I don't know.
Garrett, you're up.
Cool. Bear with. All of my spells have disappeared.
Oh,
Just give me 1 sec.
it's all good,
Refresh the
man.
old bar.
It's all good.
There we go. We're gonna start.
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Doing some Twilight Step.
Okay. Where are you off to?
Over here.
Doosh, yeah.
Just out of range of the fella. He's taken 3 cold damage for his trouble.
So, one thing you would notice, Garrett, that as soon as this demon, this demon emerges, that the searing heat from this thing is unlike anything you have felt before, to the point where even cold damage doesn't seem that effective.
Marvelous.
It's a raging, quite literally a raging inferno.
Oh. And with a shudder of his shoulders, the wings pop out.
Fuck the shit, I'm out.
Yeah, you know where this is going.
Yeah.
If I could have my wings, please, sir.
You can when I make you a little bit bigger, because you're tiny Garrett at the minute. There you go.
I am Mini Garrett. And I'm just going to fly at a speed of Flaming Gazelle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here.
Yeah.
And then
How far in the air are you going?
Literally just high enough to get on top of this thing.
Okay. I'll do it 10
Where I
feet.
am. Cool. Okay, and I am also going to fucking dash because Garrett and fire are not friends. 3.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just gonna get tucked in behind this,
Yeah.
so I'm out of the line of fire.
Okay, so you're just going to drop to the ground behind the...
Yep.
All right.
100%.
Boom. So yeah, you would all just see Garrett bump out this... The cold aura that is emitted, this spray of frost, immediately turns to steam as he appears on the other side of the lava stream and then just sets off. Any
My
further
wind's
actions?
caught fate. I don't want to be near the fire.
Any further actions, Garrett?
No, I've used everything in my in my toolkit to get away from that thing.
Orkskull, thank you for that 16-month, buddy. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome in. So yeah, with that, Garrett, you are well and truly out of harm's way. We then go to Reza. What's Reza up to?
I was just like, what? Bloody hell. So she's gonna assess the situation first,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a big part of fire safety. And then she is going to. So these little imps to her side here, those are in the air.
They are indeed. They are about 20 feet in the air. They burst out of the magma, started screeching. You will see fire starting to form around their hands. You get the impression they're going to throw it at you.
Right. She really doesn't like the sound of that. So she plants her feet and we'll take an aimed shot with Thicket.
Okay.
If I targeted something, that would be smart. Actually, she's going to do a split shot.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
through the power of imagination and self-delusion,
Mm-hmm.
can she get 3 arrows off with her split shot instead of 2?
I mean, it's plausible. DC 12 deception check.
Okay. I believe there are 3 arrows. I believe there are 3 arrows. There are not
They're not
3
three
arrows.
arrows.
There are just 2.
You've got 2 in your hand.
Alright, so then,
So yeah, keep in mind we are still in the dream world at this point. So there is a chance you can manifest bullshit. Firing 7, first one. You hit it, the arrow strikes true, it takes off a large chunk of its shoulder. Its arm falls off that was starting to conjure the flame, and this pointed nose just looks down. You hear the chittering of its guttural speak before it hisses and starts casting fire in its other hand. Split shot.
and the other shot, the other shot was the one I wanted to,
Yeah.
to go above the one there, yeah.
Okay, so that's another 7 damage to that one. That one too is impaled through its center mass. You see flaming blood splurt out the back of it as the arrow passes through. Both badly injured.
She's gonna do it again.
Okay, yeah.
And she's gonna do another split shot.
Okay. Yeah. It hits.
Oh my god, these rolls!
Oh.
Same two again.
It's good, but it's not enough. These 2 other arrows would shoot out, stick into both of them, and at this point, they're both screeching in pain.
Can I do anything for my bonus action? This is gonna hurt so much, Chad!
That you done?
Yeah, I guess I'm done.
All right. The Malak Bell. As it begins to rise out of the lava, it scans around, and its flaming head would turn to look at you, Dorian. In Abyssal, you would hear it just ring out.
Grant me your message.
As it begins to step out. First, slowly. Then as it hits flat ground, it starts to speed up. Moving 40 feet towards you, Dorian.
Bullshit.
Then, as an action, you all would just see this giant mass, this flaming demon just explode. Out of sight. Before eventually teleporting right behind you, Dorian. And once again, you would just hear,
Grant me your message.
so its action is to Flaming Surge, which basically it can teleport.
I hate you and everything you stand for.
Bonus action, you're lucky. It doesn't have any. So with that said, you would all just see this giant form just phase out in a basically a small explosion. The sound would ricochet around your eardrums before eventually it bursts once again in fire behind Dorian. Cool. Cypher, you're up.
Yeah, 2 seconds, just checking something.
Absolutely.
Cool.
For the sake of any questions, these are all classed as fiends.
Okay. I'm gonna move to the edge of the lava,
Okay.
and then right on top of Dorian,
Yep.
I'm gonna cast Legion. Actually, no, before that, bonus action in
Okay.
its sorcery,
Yep.
and then using his focus and crystal, he's gonna cast Legion at 6th level.
Okay. What's that do?
Ta-da! So I'll have an extra 2d8 damage for every attack. Okay.
Extra 2d8. Okay, let me change that quick for you. And effect bumps it up to 5d8 instead of 3d8. There you go. That's now sorted on the grasp from Legion. So the shadows begin to coalesce around the screams of the damned in this hell plane. Also rise, almost in sympathy with the Legion, as it forms up alongside Dorian.
And then I'll turn to Vanya and I'll be like, Vanya, get a fucking grip! And get us out of here. And that's my turn.
Okay. Does Legion do anything on its initial cast, or is it just on?
I think it's on the start of its turn.
Yeah. And we did change it, so rather than being inside of it, it's just within 5 feet, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, within 5 feet of it or in it, yeah.
All right. Okay. So in that then, yeah, why not? I'm going to use its single legendary action.
Does that trigger Legion?
Starts its... No, because it's not its turn.
Okay.
This is just a legendary action. That legendary action is going to be... Boom. Searing Flame. Dorian, I need you to make me a DC 16 a Constitution saving throw, please. As the Malak Bell begins to glow in intensity. Fire bursts from the giant form of the demon. Oh, for 45 fire damage.
Okay.
This thing is... Garrett, even from where you are, Reza, your position, you would feel just this immense heat emanating from this thing. And there would be a thought, a memory of when Dorian said the messengers that used to scour everything. If this is one of them, It's no joke. All right, so that's its legendary action done. Vanya, you're up.
So Vanya's gonna turn to look at the thing. And I don't know if this would be in line, but she's going to dream up that the ground beneath it is like quicksand.
Okay.
And then once the feet fall into it, like up to the knees, that it hardens.
That's pretty easy to believe, actually. I'm going to say that's a DC 8 deception check. That's something you could quite easily. In fact, you know what? Since you are the architect of the dreams, I'm going to give you advantage. 18. All right. The rest of you who were looking at the Malik Bal would begin to see that the blackened, charred earth beneath its feet shifts. What was once hardened rock, wasteland, turns to sand. And it slowly begins to sink down to the point where it becomes... I'm going to say... prone. Or restrained. Let's say it's prone. As its lower half is basically sucked into the dirt below. No, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go restrained. No, hang on. I'm going to fuck myself there. No, restraint's perfect. Yeah, so its speed becomes 0. Can't move. Everyone gets a advantage on attacks. And it has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Now, for this... Yeah, it's also got a disadvantage on attack rolls. Alright. So yeah, you'll just see this thing just start to be sucked into sand. That's, I'm going to say, is your action, Vanya. Any bonus actions?
So she's going to use her movement to kind of come over here at a line of sight, and she is going to start meditating.
Okay.
And thinking of the dreamscape, but also like talking to the nurse and say, please get us out of here. Please get us out of here. Please get us out of here.
Get you out of there? Sweetheart, you can do it yourself. I'm just an observer.
Okay, then get out of my head and let me focus.
Oh, so demanding, dear sister. All right. Well, perhaps I will give you... Think of your most fond memory.
She'll go back to the moment where she had asked Jacqueline to join her at the ball.
Okay. And are you certain you... I mean, I can help you, but it's going to cost. Ooh,
What's it going to cost? What's the cost?
I don't think you really have time to ask. Will you pay the price? Will you pay the price? I don't think I can... You don't have time.
Fine, I'll pay the price.
Cool. Dorian, you're up. Vanya, make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is surging forth. Now, the thing is that Dorian is like, this is like really, kindling a memory for him. No pun intended. The thing is that he is going to try to reminisce and basically just. He remembers this is what he once was, and he remembers how it was. He's going to try to ride that memory and basically try to resume that form to deal with this thing that is assaulting them.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. All right. Sure, absolutely. I'm going to say if you wish to try and return to some essence of this is not really much deceiving yourself, but roll me something appropriate.
Well, I feel like maybe something charisma based would be good. So
Okay.
Like, we've been using deception to like make believe in this.
Uh-huh.
So let's just see what happens.
An 11. I mean, to be honest with you, I was looking for DC 10 for that because it's not difficult. You're at home. This is your...
It's your playground.
This is your playground. So... Fuck it. This may not be exactly what you had in mind, but it's a brief... a brief thought. Let's go with that. I'm going to give you advantage on every single attack roll you have, Dorian.
Okay. First thing, Dorian is still in bad sorts even after all this because we've been just going through a gauntlet.
Roll me a d12.
And roll.
Oops, a bit too much. All right. Explain to us what this looks like, Dorian, as you take on some aspect of your original form. You gain strength in this, both physical and almost a rejuvenating effect.
Well, this thing that has popped up and the flames are gushing out of it, it seems like the flames hit Dorian, yes, but they're also siphoning into him, and he seems to grow and assume a form halfway between what you are used to and halfway between this thing that's before him. Like a bonfire that's been turned over and it's going again. And yeah. Gonna need the fire demon to make a Constitution saving throw
at disadvantage because it's grappled.
It's still gonna make it.
It's still gonna make it.
All right, so it's only gonna take half of this.
Okay.
It's gonna be.
I was expecting more than that. That was a bad roll.
Yeah, well, that's middle of the ground.
Is that fire damage?
It is not. It is necrotic damage.
All right. Good.
And
Inspired.
So
you go on.
So he's only going to take half of that, but Dorian's going to regain hit points from it.
Absolutely. In fact, no. Yeah, half because of the saving throw. You would see that this giant inferno of a demon seems to recoil as Dorian reveals a partial aspect of his once true form. The flames that are blown back by your infernal conduit, and you just hear once again,
Give me your message, my lord.
Whilst that's happening, though, the fire imps are now... is that you done, Dorian, by the way?
Let me make sure I don't have any bonus actions to use. Pretty sure I do not. Yeah, that'll be...
Okay. So, the imps. The two that currently have arrows sticking out of them seem to turn tail and start flapping away, screeching into the sky in pain. The other one, though, would flap up towards you, Reza, and with firebolt in hand, it will hurl flame at you. This bolt comes down, impacting into the ground, missing you as it hisses angrily. Down the bottom, the others would slowly start to... Fucking 20 feet of movement, goddamn. Slowly start to flap their way towards Cypher. Slowly. The range is enough. Cypher, you're going to get... Double check you are within 60. 55 for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, just one. Alright. So the closest one to you will also, with fire in its hand, lob a bolt of flame at you. You see it... fuck's sake. You see it just streak over your head. Missing by inches. You would feel the heat on your skin, but... no impact. Top of the turn. Garrett.
Two of them now. And quickly he wraps his wings around himself and casts a spell.
Ooh. Okay.
And while he's casting it, he's saying, "The flames cannot hurt me. The flames cannot hurt me." Trying to will an armor of ice to come around him, giving him resistance to fire damage.
Sure. I'm going to say that's going to be a little difficult for you.
Yeah.
Because you're in hell. So let's go for DC 14 deception check.
Deception.
Yes, please. Oh, he's done it! He's only gone and done it just!
By the way, that was a 2. No, it wasn't. It was a 1.
Reliable
No,
talent.
it was a 2.
Oh, no, it was a 2.
Reliable
It was a 2. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, son of a bitch, I forgot about that. Every time. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You basically manifest... well, what happens?
Right, basically, it's a small localized blizzard comes around Garrett for a second. And as he steps out of it, it almost seems like he's got a flexible armor of ice all over his body. And as he flaps his wings and moves slightly to here.
Yeah.
He will then duck out from behind the pillar.
Yeah.
He's landed back on the ground.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw some scythe blades at this thing.
Alright.
So I'm just reading the thing.
It's all good.
Never used this spell before.
Protection from evil and good.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So I'm going to yeet some fire blades at it.
Absolutely.
Because I can't melt.
No. And this, you've got advantage on the attack because it's currently restrained by Vanya sinking it into the ground.
That's
a crit.
Your boy crits on 19s now.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
18.
18.
Side,
Yep, and it's one of the only damage types it's not resistant or immune to.
Huzzah. So we're gonna sneak attack that, obviously.
It'd be rude not to.
For horrific damage.
That's awful.
That is probably the worst sneak attack I've ever done.
Yes, it's damn close.
Yep.
And well, I've only got one thing left I can do, which is throw another throwing knife at it
24 hits.
for not a crit. And shit damage.
Alright, so with Garrett dipping off to the side, taking cover, launching two side blades into it.
I'll go there.
Save me.
Using this pillar as a bit of a natural bastion.
Love it. We go to Reza, who's got this grinning fire imp slowly making its way towards her. Almost
Is he
comically
within 30?
so.
Is he within 30 feet of her?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably 25 feet.
Okay.
They can only move
She's
20
gonna
feet.
kind
They're
of-
so slow.
How much would you say this thing weighs? Oh no. Yeah. How much does it weigh?
Ooh, that's a question. Not too much. I would imagine about the weight of a baby. Vanya. Average weight of a baby in pounds.
A newborn or how old?
Let's go with a 6-month-old since we're getting specific.
Oh, with a 6-month-old depends on how much they've eaten. I'd say probably around.
It's more than 5 pounds, so
15.
never mind.
Okay.
Let's go 15 pounds.
15
They've
pounds.
I'm
they haven't missed a meal.
moving on. I'm moving on. Reza has this look of consternation on her face, and she's just like, no time like the present to try some new kit. So she lowers her bow and reaches out one hand, pointing towards this
Fire imp.
firearm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And casts a spell that she's worked on with Cypher but has never practiced before.
Okay. Sanguine tether. All right. Interesting.
So the target must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take 44 necrotic damage.
Oh my good lord. Whilst I'm rolling this, the multiculturist James, thank you very much. Well, thank you for the follow, by the way. I noticed you followed a couple of days ago, but welcome in, man. It failed. You tether yourself to the imp.
It's good damage rolls as well.
And
It's-
it's 11 necrotic and 5 fire.
The fire damage it is immune to.
Okay.
So the 11 necrotic damage though does go through.
And he is tethered to me, and he will take 2d4 necrotic damage at the beginning of its next turn.
2d4.
2d4, yeah.
Do you want to roll it now?
Yeah, I can.
Don't roll double ones.
Subtle.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna just basically say you. That's fine, Reza. You drain. What's the sanguine tether look like? How would it kill something? This is the first time you used it. What happens?
So it looks like as she's tossed her head, think about like Spider-Man, but it is just like a thread of blood shimmering in the air, and it looks like it's latched onto this creature like a leech and is draining their life out.
You would see that where the tether's attached, though, the blood that's been drawn out is on fire.
Quote unquote blood.
Yeah. But you would still manage to basically drain the essence, the life from this imp as it just falls, splats against the ground. Excellent. So, get rid of that for you. Any movements? Any bonus actions?
Well, so this is feeling kind of toasty behind her, so she's just gonna kind of like do. I'm gonna go stand on this rock instead.
Yeah.
Allow 5 feet for the up and down part of it.
Sure.
Or, no, I've
Yeah.
got 15 more feet of movement. She's gonna kind of like tuck behind this rock.
Okay.
As like a barrier. Be there instead.
Not to worry.
And that's my turns.
Okay. Malik Bal.
Legion first.
Legion
Start of its
first. Start of its turn. Absolutely. Legion reaches out. Even with advantage. Misses. Oh, Legion. Let us down.
turn.
It will then... Ooh. Yeah, I mean, really, all it'll do is just look towards... Roll me an intimidation check, please, Dorian.
And can you add my strength?
It begins to try and shift back. It can't get out of this quicksand, this quagmire that it's found itself in by Vanya. The only other thing nearby that it sees at that point would be Cypher. With a hand outstretched,
Message. Grant me message, my lord.
it bows its head towards you, Dorian. Raises a hand towards Cypher, but... What are you doing?
If it's attempting to attack Cypher, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely going to hit him with Sentinel if I can.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you begin to see the flames around the creature coalesce around its outstretched hand that's currently pointed towards Cypher.
I don't think this will interrupt it, but it's a thing.
Its attacks are at disadvantage because it's restrained.
Hits anyway.
It hits anyway. Cypher, you just for a brief moment see a flicker of light from its hand before you are hit with a terrible roll.
Thank God for that.
This blast of flame emitted from its hand just instantly hits you, but for whatever reason, not as it's hot, but nowhere near as damaging as you thought it could be. That was awful roll. Fine on aberrant sensor hits, absolutely. Dorian with the attack of, oh my good lord. It's a good roll.
And with that, let me make sure that I'm not cheesing it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be on my turn that I hit someone. Okay.
Cypher, I believe there's a concentration check to be made.
All right, yeah. It's just a D20, right?
Yeah, there should be a button that you've got that you can just click.
Oh, yeah, concentration. Oh. Actually, I have advantage on that because
All right.
Warcast.
Yeah.
Just roll it normally.
Roll it again.
Yep. And that's a natural one. Wow, okay.
So, this is what
How
actually... This is what actually... How do you get that low? -5?
Yeah, why am I -5?
You're rolling as Legion?
You are rolling as
Oh!
Legion. just roll me a normal 2d20.
Gotta be why.
Yes, because Legion has no willpower, no intelligence.
It is just a thing.
All right, 11.
Right,
Legion,
we're
we're good. So yeah, basically, what I would say is that as the Malik Bell sends out this scorching blast, because Legion's in the way, Legion seems to soak up the vast majority of the power, punctures a hole through Legion temporarily before the shadows start to coalesce around and reform. And that's all it can do. It can't move. It can't do anything else. So, Cypher, you're up.
Man, he sees these imps coming from. So he's like, well, that's annoying. So he's gonna try and do aggressive shade, but he's gonna try and imagine aggressive shade, fucking as tall as he can, like the shadow leviathans that he saw in the Shadowfell when he was there. He's gonna imagine aggressive shade as a shadow leviathan, and he's gonna try and push over
That whole pillar.
That whole pillar onto these fucking onto these imps.
Sure, why not? I mean that's a pretty tall order, so I'm gonna have to probably say like DC 14. Hang on, before I say that, no, never mind. Never
It was a
mind.
natural 20.
Never mind. Fuck me, I guess. That amount of rubble. Do you want to roll some dice, Cypher?
I mean, I can cast the spell. What level you want us to cast it at for it to be that big?
I'm just thinking just straight damage from this falling column.
All right. Oh shit.
What shall we say? Well, what seems apt for dropping this giant hand with metal chains onto these imps? 10d10?
Like 60-10? 10d10? Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. I was thinking 10d10.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, run with 10d10. They all take this much damage. Just so you can roll some dice. Fucking crits,
Dice!
man. I obviously can't move. No, I can't move. I obviously can't move the map, but what I can do is whilst I'm doing this, just narrate what happens. Cypher, what does this look like?
So out of Legion strides another Leviathan that just kind of appears. It looks two-dimensional, and then it turns, and then it's just it's there as a three-dimensional thing, and it just charges at this hand and just pushes it over. You just hear chains and stone breaking as this monolith hand with chains on it is just pushed over by this giant shadow that just, as soon as it's done, it just disappears.
I need everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw, please. Apart from Cypher.
Oh, apart from me.
Apart
Nice.
from Cypher. So, as this pillar is torn down, all of the rocks begin to crumble, splash into the lava stream. A huge cloud of dust is just kicked up. You all manage to shield yourselves and shield your eyes at the last minute as this dust cloud wafts over you. Dorian, you though, it's not so much the dust, it's the fact that your footing has just been pulled out from underneath you. I'm going to say I'm going to move you a little bit away from there. And that's a 4. That's terrible. Let me. I'm gonna knock you prone. So, in fact, no, I'm not, because Cypher got a crit. So no, I'm just gonna move you to the side because that's with the crit will balance it out. So basically, as this pillar is ripped down by the shade, you find your footing currently missing from your feet, causing you to stumble back momentarily out of melee combat, so out of melee range with the mallet bell, but it won't get an attack of opportunity because it's still in the ground. Cypher, any movement? The imps, though, definitely just crushed.
I'll move over this way, away from the imps to the north of me.
All right. Vanya.
She's still concentrating on trying to get back to the dreamscape to.
Are you wanting
out of there.
Are you wanting out of dodge? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. I mean, Garrett yelled at her as she does as she's
right.
told sometimes.
In that case, yeah. Everyone's yelling at her. All right. In that case, then, roll me a concentration check, please, Vanya. With a D20 plus 1d4. Excellent. So, what was that memory?
When she was in Jacqueline's shop, flirting with her and asking her to go to the ball with her, pretty much.
Yeah, you don't remember that anymore.
She's trying to think. Oh,
that's gone. Snatched away as you begin to concentrate on getting out of here. You feel a slight pinprick, a slight pain in your head, and something about Jacqueline. I need to get out of here. It's at that moment where you complete the ritual. At the end of the turn, if you wish, you can pull everyone out of this immediate nightmare.
Yeah, of course she will pull everyone out. She won't leave anybody behind.
You've still, I'm going to say that's your bonus action to complete that, so you've still got your action and your movement if there's anything you wish to do.
I guess. So you said that was my action to do that?
That was your bonus action this time.
That was my bonus action to do that. Okay, I think what she will wind up doing is to move up here and then will use this big rock behind that guy. Is that a big rock or a shadow?
That's a big rock, yeah.
So she'll use...
You're crossing over the...
No,
Okay.
no. She's going to stay right here.
Okay.
And she is going to use levitate.
Okay.
To pick up a big rock to drop down onto the flaming guy.
Roll me a DC 12 deception check. So levitate's usually just for moving yourself. You've got to really want to and believe that you can move something that's a 10-foot boulder. So DC 12 deception check.
Okay, because I get up to 500 pounds to move. Okay, DC 12.
Yeah. Yeah, that rock's certainly going to be much more than 500 pounds. All right.
5 metric tons.
Yeah. Basically, that's literally what I've just googled. I'm like, pounds to tons. Yeah, you. All right. Yeah, sure. Why not? With a 16, I will say that you managed to slowly start to rip this rock, this boulder out of the ground. It's not quick. It's not fluid by any means. But what are you doing with it? You dropping it?
Yes, she's gonna hold it over the flaming guy, and then just drop it onto him.
Roll me a d20.
Oh, hold on. That made it a 2. I was trying to just hit enter, and it kept making it go up. But I mean, I'm okay.
Okay. There is still a part of your mind just screaming that, you really shouldn't be able to levitate this. So you only managed to get it 5 feet above the Malak Bell. But a rock of this size dropping on something from 5 feet above it, still pretty bad. I'm going to say roll me Fallen's D6 per 5 feet. But this is a ridiculous rock. Pulling some numbers out of my arse. Let's go with 4d10. All right. You drop the rock onto the Malak Bell, and as the rock slams into it, it knocks it down even further into the ground. But the sheer heat from this thing slowly starts turning this rock to magma. But for all intents and purposes, it is now pinned down to the ground, this melting boulder on it. The sand around its lower area is also starting to now turn to liquid glass. But for all intents and purposes, I will say that's it can do no more. I'm gonna let you have its legendary action. Dorian, looks like you're up before Vanya pulls us out.
Dorian's unaware of that, so he's going to stand. Actually, was he prone?
No, you weren't. No, because Cypher got a crit success, so I didn't know you prone.
Okay, so he's going to reapproach the same, because in his mind the only thing that's left to do is try to kill this thing before it kills them. And so he's going to hold his flail aloft, and the word is oblivion. He's going to attempt to smash the hell out of shit out of him.
Yeah.
Oblivion. Message received.
As it's laying on the ground in glass and boulder on it. You swing the flail, it hits the boulder.
Yeah. Get a second attack.
This time, though, it lands true.
This one's just the normal damage. I always tend to put the first one with the...
You didn't say, so it makes...
I'm
unless
good
you
with
say...
just that assumption, if it's not specified.
Okay.
No, just 11 more.
All right. The 4 poison doesn't affect a creature of this essence, but you end up slamming part of it away. Anything further, Dorian?
No, that's Dorian done.
All right. Fire imps. Last ditch. The 2 imps that were near death start flying away. That 1 imp is going to move up towards Vanya and hopefully he'll flame at her. You hear the crackling of fire behind you, Vanya, as this bolt whizzes past your hair. But that's
The reason why imps at the bottom of the road.
yeah, it really is.
Demonic window dressing.
But it's at that moment, Vanya, where you gain control of the crystal. In fact, you feel more empowered than usual. Energy surges through you. You feel like you could almost go anywhere. Is she back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
How'd you pull everyone out? Oh, in fact, before I say
she'll
that,
put-
actually, Dorian, is there anything you wish to add to another scene if we pull out of this?
No, this will be the final one.
All right, so you don't have to pull to somewhere in the infernal plane. It sounds like you can pull back to the dreamscape if you wish, Vanya.
And that's what she'll do. And as she starts to do that, she's gonna try to telepathically link with everyone since she can see them, and start saying, "We're gonna leave this place now. Think of the dreamscape, of the beautiful colors. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. No more fire. Beautiful colors. Think butterflies. Stars."
With a fading of the surrounding, this flaming demon in front of you starting to twist and contort and fade out, you're then flashbanged once again with the bright environment of the dreamscape, now finding yourself emerging, thrust out of the waters below, back onto the iridescent surface. The previous waves, the shadows reaching out from nightmares below, no longer there. It's calm. The fire's almost a distant memory. But the physical or psychological effects of going through so many dreams, so many memories is probably starting to take its toll on everyone at this point.
We're definitely unimpressed with his bullshit.
All right,
But impressed with Vanya on keeping her shit together.
No, you're 4 for 4 fuck ups.
She's never coming back.
Can I get an F in the chat for Jacqueline and her ball date?
That's gonna be a disaster now.
She'll be sat there in a posh frock, being stood up by the lover of her life.
Oh.
That's gonna be like, what are you doing here? Who invited you?
Jump. Thank you. All right. In that case, before we delve into what's to come, shall we call in one last break?
I should.
Okay. There we go, folks. We will be right back. Just gonna send a quick DM to Garrett. Cool. All right, there we go. DM sent. I know what I'm up with next. Gavel, thank you. I appreciate it. Cacophony gave you away there, trying to hide away. Cacophony sees all. I appreciate 22 months trying to squeeze this enduring break. Oh, squeezed it is. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to quickly dive away and refill the water now that I've sent a few DMs to the players. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you again.
I'm not going to be not going to lie. I'll be glad when we're off this rainbow road. It does hurt my eyes. I like the dark dower of Nova Sawyer.
Vanya's gonna paint the Undercroft all these beautiful colors, and even the tavern. Whenever
Do you
you
think
guys are out
Elias
one
will let
day.
you paint that down there?
Maybe if you're not there. No?
Don't forget, Elias is a blackthorn.
He senses
Literally.
what would not be liked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, you never know. They might be like, oh, pretty colours. I might start flowering like this.
Ooh.
His flowers are black.
He might
Like
want.
those black tulips.
I want to be colourful, Garrett. I want to be colourful. I want to be loved, to adored.
Why do you suppress my creativity?
You monster. Grandma, one of these days you would love to learn how to play. I mean, D&D's it's easy. It's being a player in D&D's easy. Yeah, there's not much to learn. In fact, we'll hear it from the players. How is D&D easy?
If you read your character sheet, yes.
Wow.
It's not easy if you play it the way that I do, and you just mess up all the time. Because you panic. You're constantly in a state of panic because you're gonna die or you're gonna kill someone else in a dream world. No, but I enjoy it. It's fun.
I mean, granted, I do kind of put you all in these situations, so.
And you do play with some of the biggest trolls known to man.
Mhm. It is impressive how you find the most roundabout way to try to do something that just doesn't make sense, though. Again and again and again.
Can I be honest though?
Of course you can.
I think it all depends on the group that you get with and like in the dynamic,
Yeah.
and because I think we have a really, really good group that plays well off of one another.
No. No, I'm just kidding. I'm back. Hi.
Hi.
Except for Reza.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm the asshole of the group.
But you're our asshole.
Reza,
Yeah.
who killed their friends.
No, Maria did that.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
All right. So, with that said, I dare say we're delve back into things.
Mm-hmm.
Vanya.
Mm.
Well, actually, everyone, roll me a perception check. So Garrett, it's pretty important that you realise this, and you too, Vanya. Since what the academy, maybe just before. You know, about the academy. There has been the lack of a certain presence.
Fucking Coroner's lost in a dream world.
But it's okay, right? Because we needed a break from him and his roommate-ness.
You know, if you get him lost in the fucking dream realm, he will get out eventually, and he will kill you, right?
I'd like to think that Reza and Cypher are like standing next to each other making "that's how I know you're dead" jokes, and like
Yeah, right? Yeah, because she was talking about taking a deep breath, and we're both like, take a deep breath? Does she know we're both dead?
yeah.
The whole reason for us to be in this dream world is to take the coroner into my memories.
All right, well, let's all hold hands and manifest the corner in front of us. What would be... Cypher, how would you lead the group in manifesting him? What do we need to think about with the corner? You're closest to him. You room together. You spend a lot of time together.
Maybe just a beacon. Cypher's gonna consume a soul in his phylactery and send up like the equivalent of a soul signal flare.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, I've got another idea that might potentially help.
Why don't we, so that we're not wasting time, why don't you do that as well while we're waiting on the beacon? Maybe the multitude of things may bring him about, right? 2 minds are better than one.
Reza's gonna start sculpting an image of the large obelisk in the city below out of the aether of the dreamscape and kind of put like a I don't know, maybe as a how do I want to do this? Kind of like a glowing like runway light, I guess. Or
Yeah.
Lighthouse.
Okay.
That's the word I was going for.
While all this is happening, Garrett's just gonna sit on the the waves.
Yeah.
Of the
I'll sit on the floor.
that
Wait a
is
minute.
solid beneath him. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
there's solid ground under our feet
Absolutely.
because we stood on it. So I'm gonna just sit down there, and I'm gonna start meditating, putting my mind into a special sort of state. Carry on.
So, with Vanya willing him to be there, a soul being sent up like a lighthouse beacon. Reza, what were you doing again?
The obelisk, just creating an image of
Yep.
the obelisk with a pulsing blue light as like a lighthouse.
As a lighthouse, okay.
Wait, one question.
Yeah.
How close to true is this obelisk?
Not very at all.
You suck, Teresa.
I know what this fucker will do, okay?
Dorian, anything you wish to add to this?
Dorian's still stuck on the memories, like thinking about, reminiscing over what they've just been through.
Okay.
And he doesn't have any particular way to reach out to the coroner, so he's just kind of savoring the last fragments of that.
Okay. So, with a lighthouse, a soul to guide, and Vanya willing him, you sit there for maybe 5 minutes, maybe a week, who knows? Time's fluid in the dreamscape, but eventually, further off in the distance, the way you came, you see something making its way towards you. At first, it looks like a wave. Then, as it gets closer, you see basically the coroner's head on the water, just being pulled along. Water splashing in his face from all of the dreams, his mouth open, and just this.
I have been
As it gets closer,
drowning, swimming for.
and eventually, as this pull eventually gets him close towards you, he's up to his shoulders in the iridescent ocean, looking up now at you, Vanya.
I have been in there for 30 years.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand. Spit some of that out. Repeat that.
Coroner
Something
casts
about 30 years.
levitate when I find him. Fuck it, why levitate when we can fly? As Your force of will breaks now, seeing the coroner. He erupts out of the water into the air by about 10 feet above you all, looking down at you, Vanya.
The soul would have been enough. You left me out in the... Ah! Where have you all been?
Hell.
Helen back.
Oh, yours is better.
Literally. Well, figured it. It's a dream. It felt real. It was hot.
Using
And not in a good way. Sorry, go ahead.
Using prestidigitation, he seems to dry himself off. Not that he needs to. Again, he could just will it, but there are certain laws, or at least logic, when it comes to the coroner. He doesn't seem to have imagination. But he casts prestidigitation, dries himself off, and then drops down next to you, Vanya, and juts a bony finger on your forehead.
Twice. Now you have forgotten to bring me along. Twice I have nearly been lost to this infernal realm.
Okay, so I have a solution because you seem to be kind of like just disappearing on us. Like either you can hold my hand or hold on. Don't say a word. Hold on. Hold. She pulls out some rope.
You gonna kink rope tie him to you?
Do you want this? Let's see. She's gonna tie it like to go around her wrist, and then tie to go around his wrist. Now I won't get lost. Right? Like, we can't always, like, if we've got a problem, we've got to come up with solutions. And that is how we succeed in life. And you won't get lost again.
Dorian is going to pipe up. A millennia of stagnation and tedium. This is just a blip of excitement. It'd take much more to do you in.
The coroner looks towards you, Dorian. Offers a single brief nod before you would notice his eyes dart towards the crystal that Vanya holds.
Though I dare say, someone keeps attempting to interfere.
I would agree with that. We've had some instances.
The old crone can't keep a big nose out of it.
There is a subtle shift in the coroner's demeanor as he looks towards the group, muttering an incantation under his breath for a brief moment. He casts anti-magic field. Vanya, roll me an Arcana check, please.
I was gonna say, is that gonna take him out of the dream?
You immediately feel as if you are about to be pulled back out of this. The magics of the dream crystal in your possession immediately cease. But with the 26, you power through it. You are now in a different plane. This won't last long. You see the coroner, especially for you, Cypher, you know, you can already see the coroner starting to close his hands into a fist to break the anti-magic field. But in those few seconds where this field goes up, with this changed demeanor, he would look at you all.
I believe our mutual acquaintance may try and interfere. Leave me here. Be on your guard.
He then moves a finger to his lips just as his hand closes and the anti-magic field subsides. You feel the power return to the dream crystal and the inquisitive presence return. Vanya, you've known from the start that you've been you're kind of acting like a conduit for someone else to look through, or maybe not you personally, but the crystal.
Best we press on then. And he's gonna look over towards Garrett.
Now we're all here. Shall we move on?
That's
I'm ready when you are.
I imagine it'll be much less warm wherever we're taking us.
You have no idea. And with that, the surface of the dreamscape starts to freeze. And then an ice cave just appears with some steps leading down. Shall we?
Oh. This is it's very refreshing, Garrett, after the heat of the last place. So looking at this, you said it's leading down to an ice cave.
Well, it's a nice tunnel.
Ice
It's gonna come
tunnel.
out somewhere.
Okay. Is it like pure clean ice that it's made out of?
It's like that blue glacier ice.
Oh, that's pretty shit. Reza, I think, is just entranced with ice. It's almost like a shiny to her.
Cypher's already set off.
Mm-hmm. Garrett's walking with a spring in his step.
Is the ground icy, or is it like just kind of like gravel that we can walk on?
It's ice, but it's not slippery.
Okay.
I imagine it's like, have you ever seen those photos like people being down inside of a glacier?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Dorian, what's your thoughts? You seem to be the last one to step into this cavernous hole that's made in the ocean out of ice.
Oh, it's fine. He doesn't have any particular aversion to the cold. It's just he's just expecting that everything in his immediate vicinity will be a bit warmer than things you're used to.
All right. And on a 50-foot string of silk rope, the coroner also descends behind Vanya. But Garrett, before you carry on, can I just say, hello, Vexing Cat. I saw you. Thank you. Thank you for the bits with the giant emote. Appreciate it. Good to see you again. Though, the party now begins their descent, surrounded by blue ice. And I now pass the book to Garrett. Rayvon! Thank you for those 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Go on, Garrett.
Okay. we exit the tunnel, and in front of us is a mountain range, an aurora in the sky, and in front of us is a gigantic ice castle.
Oh, Garrett, why did I think you were from somewhere tropical?
This isn't
Because
where
you're an
I'm
idiot.
from. This isn't where I'm from. This is in me.
Oh.
This is where I store my memories. Shall we go in?
Sure. And Cypher throws a snowball at Vanya.
Cypher,
What?
please.
Okay.
Don't do that again.
Okay. He's gonna throw a
And-
snowball at Dorian.
Before anyone can start walking, Garrett just makes a little gesture with his hands. And it's almost like the entire party has twilight stepped to the front doors of the castle. Just to warn you, I am a lucid dreamer. And I travel here in my dreams regularly. And he opens the doors.
Any questions about the exterior before we step in?
So the whole thing's made out of ice.
Yep.
Does it seem like fortified? Like, you know, it would be hard to kind of... It's like a vault, basically. Would that be right?
It's not fortified. It's more made for beauty than defense. Because it resides in Garrett's mind. It's not a physical castle.
This is indeed a mind palace. A manifestation within Garrett's own dreams, his own mind. This his culmination of experiences. Is that the best way to put it, Garrett?
Experiences, memories, a store of knowledge for all of the professions and traits he's picked up over the years. How he can uncannily remember stuff. Sorry.
Any symbols or markings on it? Like,
On the doors, there are the Blackthorn family crests. There's chased blackthorns along most of the doorways. Script in Sylvan with Blackthorn written on it. And under pictures and things, all of the little plaques, again made from ice, but in the Sylvan script, just saying who they are. So anyone that can read Sylvan will be able to read them.
is this in like the corridors and stuff like that?
Yep.
I was say Reza is trying to read and take in as much as she can.
Is this where you're stepping through the doors, Garrett? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Back to you, Vanya. What were you saying?
So as we enter, would like... Well, I guess Vanya is going to go to a open the doors to a room to see.
Roll me a concentration check, please, Vanya.
Didn't expect this to happen so early.
Okay, thank you.
You are nothing if not predictable, John.
I just wanted to see. Damn it! I wanted to see if it was like fucking. I just wanted to see inside Garrett's mind. We never get to be in it, and I want to see.
I'm going to step back from this, Garrett. Back to you, good sir.
Okay, I'm going to do what we spoke about.
I give it.
Open the door.
I'm logging out. I'm dead.
Okay, well, Vanya opens the door. But it's the wrong door. It's a memory. It's a memory of Garrett in another plane of existence. With a squad of Red Guard. Fighting a monster. And behind the door is gigantic floating creature.
Everyone roll me
Body.
a perception check.
Yeah.
Apart from Garrett. Garrett doesn't need to.
Reza, can I just say, so Reza rolled a 2.
Mhm.
She's been like trying to read all the books and shelves, didn't notice the door open, and as she just finds herself thinking, I wonder if you put a hot tub in here, if it would melt the floor. On a 2. That's what she's thinking.
Ah. As you all either looking up and down the corridor, Vanya, you open the door. Behind it, Vanya, as you slowly turn and look around, you are met with a single eye, roughly 3 foot in diameter. Followed behind that, this large, bulbous, scaled mass of flesh. And where there was once one large eye, now a few more begin to creep down and look at you. On stalks. First it's 1 eye, then 2, 4, 7.
Why did you fight a beholder? Garrett. Come on.
Vanya. Let me just see. So this is the annoying thing at the minute, from my point of view. The creature that I want is in the DM's guide. Because
you can't use.
And because I need to update Foundry,
Well, she could just back out and just shut the door.
roll me a dexterity saving throw, please, Vanya. So with this creature looking at you with these eyes on stalks now starting to, almost in a predatory-like manner, focus on you. Garrett, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Garrett disappears in a puff of snow, and Twilight steps to the doorway and slams the door shut before the beholder can get out. Vanya, please do not open any doors. I have been a lot of places and seen a lot of things. A lot of them not safe.
Well, Garrett, I feel like you might should have told us that before we entered.
We just got in the door.
Hey,
Yeah,
Vanya,
but
this is really, really. You should pay more attention. What happened?
Don't open the doors. It's I think that the lesson, but sometimes every door leads to a new opportunity, and but I won't open these doors anymore.
Probably a good idea. Actually, Garrett concentrates for a minute, and a large ice padlock appears on every door going down the street.
Good call, just in case if something I forget along the way. And she's gonna go and stand behind everyone, like to make sure she doesn't have that temptation.
Let's try some of my memories to see how well the coroner can see what's going on.
At this
And Garrett
point,
starts striding off down the corridor.
the coroner is stood just glancing around the architecture as he follows along.
An interesting method of storing information. For me, I tend to write things in books. Written word. Novel. Interesting.
It's more part of my upbringing, this method of remembering things. Ah, here's the door. And I poke my palm on the padlock and it just melts.
Coroner shrugs.
No, maybe I will not try this after all.
Coroner failed an intelligence check. Holy shit.
With a percent? Jesus.
But yeah, the ancient lich is just strung along quite literally by Vanya as Garrett, you take the lead back towards one of the doors. Also, very quickly, sewing artist, welcome in. Thank you very much. Good to see you. I did see you there, but obviously with DMing, streaming, it takes a little while to get to chat. But welcome in, welcome in. So, Garrett, down the corridor, you can continue.
Now we're going to step into one of my memories.
Okay.
You're gonna see me as a child.
Oh.
And we step through. Oh, I miss the place.
You are well. Do you want me to describe the scene? The general.
You can describe it.
Okay, so as you step through the door, the temperature seems to increase a little. It's still cold, frigid, but laid out in front of you all is what seems to be a prosperous landscape within the Fey realm. God damn it! I'm trying to say Fey Wild and Fey Realm in one word. It never works. The clouds seem to hang low in the air, almost promising snow that doesn't come. The trees, all in a almost constant state of autumn. Leaves brown, but then shifting to purple, blues, a tinge of green every now and again. It almost seems like every season is occurring in seconds. The waters around this manor on the rise goes from flowing like rapids to still, almost frozen, a thin sheen of ice skating across the top. Also, again, in mere moments, it seems to be a realm of constant change. Chaos, almost. You would see the odd animal, a creature that looks similar to a rabbit, a couple of horns sprouted from its head that would blink into existence in front of you, make a few hops, and then vanish. Birds in the sky, similar maneuvers. They would seem to flit, to blink around the air, almost dancing between each other. But it's peaceful. Nothing seems... You've all heard tales that the Feywilds are untamable, dangerous, but looking at this scene, it's picturesque. Beautiful, almost.
This is where I grew up.
This is home.
This is home.
It's pretty. Very pretty.
Let's find younger me. And once again, the tiny localized snowstorm flashes in front of everyone's eyes. And we appear next to the house.
Does the house bear any resemblance to the Dream Palace? The Memory Palace?
No. The house is... It's well adorned and it's very well maintained. And to anyone from Novostoya, it would seem quite alien. And the architecture that you would think wouldn't work anywhere else. It would probably collapse on itself. But here, it's solid.
The way I would imagine it is, the lower levels seem to sprout out. Almost think of it like a mushroom, where the lower stem is quite large. Then the house, as it goes to the second floor, slants in a little bit before some of the larger floors on above bloom out. But not that the building itself is made of mushrooms. It's would certainly have various flares, as Garrett said, alien, maybe even the odd elven looking architecture, beams on full display.
The rock would be like a polished marble, shiny, like made to look as close to like snow and ice as possible. The woodwork would be very elven in design, almost more grown rather than cut. Think of how Elias is around the Undercroft, and that's how it's grown up and round. the stone part. And from where we stand, we see a lone, obviously fey man, tall, shoulders held high, serious expression on his face. You could tell from his face that he is a very close relation of Garrett. They could almost use each other as shaving mirrors. And you hear a cry of a small child. Father, father, I made a blade. And this small, half-elven boy comes sprinting out of absolutely nowhere. You didn't notice he was there before. And he bombs to his father with a very small side blade held in his grasp. And you get the impression that it's the first time he's managed to materialize a blade in his palm. His father looks at him, pride in his eyes. And he says, try throwing it at that target over there. See if you can hit. The little boy pulls his arm back, snaps his arm forward, and the side blade goes straight into the dirt in front of him. Well, at least you didn't cut yourself. And he reaches down and ruffles the child's hair. He goes, we have a lot of training to do, but by the time you're grown, you will be an expert with these things. Don't forget, you're still very young to make a blade appear. And don't forget, I love you, Garrett. And just like the memory sort of starts to fade, and you hear a door close, and you're back in the corridor.
Tragic backstories, you hate them.
Yeah,
All right.
so emo.
But with that, the whiteout that currently whips across your vision fades back to the polished glass-like corridor of Garrett's Mind Palace. Coroners stood off to the side, respectfully silent. Garrett, roll me an insight check quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's a peculiar look etched across the coroner's face. Not quite sure exactly what it is, either reminiscence, longing. It's unusual, but you certainly get the impression that he is being more than attentive.
I make eye contact with him and just give him a little half smile. I turn and look to the group.
Cypher's like, well, where to go? What's next?
What's next is the next 690 years of my memories.
It's gonna take a while.
There's a few memories I'd like to see before we go to... Or I'd like you to see before we go to our final destination.
Okay.
The next door's not far. And we start walking.
Each step echoes down the corridors like high heels on marble for everyone. That squeaking, almost piercing, the sound that's made where it almost sounds like you're cracking something when you walk, but you turn behind and see that the ice is still perfectly in pristine condition. So you go on, Garrett.
No. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask.
That was the first time with your daggers?
Yes, we don't know if we are able to create the daggers. Most of my family can. And it's a big day when a child can manifest for the first time. It sets their path in life. So, here is the second memory I wish to share. And once again, he puts his hand on the lock, which melts away. The door opens. And Garrett steps through.
All right. You come to a similar scene, a similar area to the one you were at before, but this time the season has most definitely changed. Where there was once autumn, now it seems to be dead of winter.
A black screen.
I know, just I'm joking, just chill. It is the same area. You see just off in the distance, the manor, but now time has progressed, regressed. Who knows?
Progress.
Garrett knows. But for the rest of you looking at it, though, unsure. But with that said, Garrett, I pass it to you.
This is an important day for my family. And we seem to disappear from where we were and just be at the window of a room in Garrett's home. The window's open because the cold isn't cold to a winter court fae. If you look inside, you'll see one of my happiest memories. There's a small kitchen table. Garrett's mother is sat with him. Garrett's eating some food after a morning's training. When you look at young Garrett, he's got that sort of lanky teenager type body at the moment that's neither
You're
child nor
gangly at
man.
them, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's gangly, his limbs are too long. He's not the live, perfectly balanced and poised thing that you know. He's now just
Weak.
he's neither one nor t'other, bless him. But he's always hungry, because growing up is hungry work. And from the front of the house, you hear a door open, and you hear a cry from Garrett's father. Neve, Garrett, where are you?
So this
Garrett's mother.
So at this
Okay.
point, Garrett's mother reaches across the table, takes a pastry, sticks it into Garrett's mouth, pats him on the head, and passes a second one into his hand. And at this, the rest of you at the window would just smell the pastries that Vanya's had. In fact, I think it'd probably only be Vanya who would be entranced by this, but the pastries that Reza has gave you in the past from the Coinflow district and beyond, they have nothing on what seems to be laid out on the table right now.
Vanya's gonna try to grab one because she's just
Levitate.
she wants one.
Sure, why not? You manage to, with a quick flick of the wrist, as it seems Garrett is about to depart the table, you whip one out from the table into your hand. What happens next, Garrett?
Neve shouts out, "We're in the kitchen, feeding your son again." And Matthias, Garrett's father, comes striding in with a bundle in his arm. I found one, Neve. The family's complete. Oh, so we're keeping with that tradition, are we? You'll understand when you see her. And he starts to pull back the cloth covering, and underneath is a small baby. I found her in the woods on the other side of the portal. She'd been abandoned by her family. They don't know how special she is, but we do. And you can't see the baby at the moment because the bodies are blocking the way. And Garrett's finishing his pastry and wiping his hands on his tunic. "What is it?" he says. Matthias looks at him and smiles in that fatherly way. This is your sister, Garrett. And he steps forward, kneels down so Garrett can see. And in his arms is that you all can now see. There's a small baby. But her face is different. Very different. One person
Changeling.
here will know exactly what she is.
Cypher just says the word changeling. With kind of like open-eyed awe.
Hmm. Yes, this is my sister Eva. And the image of young Garrett leans down and brushes his finger against her cheek. And she opens her white eyes and looks him for a second. And her eyes then turn the same bright ice blue as Garrett's for a second, then flicks back to white. Yes, she's a babe. So then Garrett's father, he says, our family has a tradition of adopting special children like this. She'll be brought up as your sister. She will assist you when we're gone. And if I'm very much mistaken, she will have abilities with the plants and animals, much like your mother. And the mother starts whispering in Druidic, and the baby starts giggling and reaching her little stubby arms out towards Neve. And the image once again goes white. And you find yourselves back in the corridor. This
All right.
is what I intended for you, Cypher, before our paths diverged.
Cypher's happy demeanor instantly just dies when you say that, and just gets all watery in his one remaining eye, and he just nods.
I'm still very proud that. And you will always be in my heart.
There is a chastising, almost word from the back as the coroner looks towards you, Cypher. A knowing expression on his face as he nods once.
You were warned. Though, do not neglect your decision, for that leads to dark places. Do not dwell on what could have been. Do you understand?
I understood the day I made my choice.
Coroner offers a single nod in reply.
You guys would, if you were paying attention, you would hear Vanya. She's gonna take she still has that pastry in hand because she's still holding on to to the thought of that pastry, and she takes a bite of it. And she goes, "Well, why would we do that?"
I shall DM you the response.
Okay then. Where to next?
We will go. To when I started growing up. How was that pastry you sold, Vanya?
Oh, I will forever remember this. Question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel as though you all, being powerful and unique, were able to create change for the better in the world? Growing up the way that you did with, influential parents?
I followed the path that was set for me. You'll understand more as my memories grow on.
Interesting. And she's gonna mutter under her breath to her crystal, if it could create some positive change, I see no harm in that. There's a lot of children out there abandoned.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And Garrett starts strolling down the corridor once again. Now, the last couple of doors we've been to have had the Blackthorn family crest in the center. This next door has got a shield in the center, painted red. But in the center of it is a snowflake in white. Garrett puts his hand on the padlock, which melts away again at his touch, and the door silently opens. Garrett steps through.
Here you are met with a completely different scene. One almost mind-bending in appearance. It seems afternoon, perhaps. Mountains stretch in the background, and trees sway. Autumn in colour. Oranges, purples from plants. Large mushrooms grow around a lake. But you can, as you step through the door into this new area, it almost feels dangerous. There's a feeling at the back of your neck that just pricks, like the air itself doesn't want you here. It's not calm, serene like the previous areas you've seen. This one, much more chaotic. You would see the odd crackle of energy, almost like tears in reality, just flicker a distance away. Creatures in the water would rise large, impossibly large in size. Again though, beautiful, absolutely, colourful, vibrant, but unwelcoming.
Okay. Now you see a more manly Garrett. He's nearly reached his full height. His shoulders are broadened. You can see his muscles are a bit more defined. He's still got a youthful face. He's not got the lines and the sarcastic look in his eye that he usually has. With him is his father. And they're walking down the road towards what looks like a encampment. And as they walk and speak to each other, I know, Father, I'm entitled to join in a command role, but I need to learn. I can't lead men without knowing what they do. Father turns to him, very serious expression. But you'll be joining the guard as a common soldier. For my service alone, you would be trained as a field commander. If I did that, Father, I'd only ever be your son. I wouldn't be a man on my own merit. And if I'm going to serve Her Majesty for years, even after you're gone, I need to be my own man. And you see Garrett's father's shoulders slump, knowing that he's lost the argument. And his son will join the Red Guard as the lowest common soldier to seek his fortune. Garrett then hands over all his worldly possessions. just wearing the tunic and boots that he came in. No jewelry, no pricey things on him. And before he leaves his father, he shakes his hand. Looking at the Blackthorn family ring on his dad's finger. I'll be back soon. And I'll have some stories to tell. They give each other a quick hug. And Garrett turns, walks into the armed camp to start his life in the Red Guard. The armed forces and law enforcement department for the Winter Corps.
Sounds of orders being barked at this camp ring out. You get the impression that soon they may be moving to pacify the local wildlife, perhaps, but with that, you're left stood on this overlook of the camp. And again, the sheer alien view of the Fey realm. It's probably something that none of you would ever be able to conjure up in your wildest dreams. I don't know, maybe Vanya could, if with enough positivity. Any questions about the Fey realm so far?
No. Cypher's content to move on.
Not particularly, no.
Before we return, you get flickers of what could be a few years passing, maybe more. You see Garrett training, then flicker again. See Garrett in red armor, part of the Red Guard, fighting side by side with other Fays. Not with the same abilities as him, but still dangerous in her own way. There's big, impossibly fine sword wielders. Their swords don't look like they will shatter the moment they hit something. But they don't, they cut cleanly. Archers that hit their mark whilst running. Everywhere you look, there's people that you could describe as dangerous. You flick forward again. Now, Garrett is not in charge of his little group, but you can see he commands respect and his experience value. He's now got the look of someone that's been places. He's done things. His face looks more like the Garrett you come to know. And then, before the next image starts to solidify in front of you, the whiteness goes in front of your eyes again and you're back in the corridor.
back from the sound of the breeze, of shouting, of commands, of conversations through these various images, now the quiet, serene stillness of Garrett's Mind Palace. The odd tinkle of ice cracking and creaking near you, Dorian, is probably the only sound that you would all now hear in this place. But you basically just seen hundreds of years of service to the Winter Court. A man rise from a privileged position, or what should have been a privileged position, but chosen to become a soldier. And through trials, tribulations, fighting monsters and various other enemies, rose to a well-respected position. Anyone have anything they wish to ask of Garrett?
Nothing comes to mind.
Rosa has a question.
Feel free to ask.
She kind of looks at Garrett and says, did your father eventually come to respect your choice?
He did. He was a worried father, trying to look after his only son. But he was immensely proud of the man I became.
Good.
Not many more places to stop now, but it's been enjoyable walking through my past again. It's been some time since I last did it. And Garrett starts walking. And we go quite a bit further this time. And get to another door. Again with a red shield on it.
I'm going to DM you something quick.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for the response on that one. You say yes or no to me, Garrett. That's all good.
I'm just expanding on something.
Okay.
Please.
In this lull, as you all begin to make your way further down the corridor, you pass hundreds of doors, and it seems to be just, for the most part, one long, almost never-ending corridor. In spite of the exterior looking to be that of a typical palace, the interior is completely different. Unexpected, but then perhaps the delving into the Fey realm through Garrett's memories is pretty much shows that anything could be possible in the Fey.
Vanya's gonna lean down to her crystal
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Can you only get them in the Fey realm?"
There we go. There is a slight subtle shift from the crystal as a response is whispered to you, Vanya. Alright, but with that, Garrett, you reach the door you're approaching.
Garrett puts out his hand and melts the padlock once again. And then stop. Don't stray far from me. This is a dangerous memory. And the door opens.
Alright. You are met with what appears to be a dense forest. Not a forest in the normal sense by any means. Various large fungi sprout up all around. There are creeks, bogs that seem to bubble and boil with acidic substance. Garrett.
You see, pardon me, you see a group of the Red Guard moving forward, weapons up, obviously searching for something. You see one step forward, kneel down to examine some tracks in the dirt. He takes off his helm, wipes his brow, and you see Garrett, much the same as he is now. He looks to the rest of the guard and says, "It came this way. We're close now." And you see the commander of this little group. And he looks at Garrett and says, "Lead on, Blackthorn. This is your hunt." And for a second, time seems to skip. The vista changes and you're in a clearing. And then there is something that keeps winking in and out of existence. Almost. It's shaped like a dog with tentacles. It appears on one side of the clearing, starts running, and seems to teleport to the other side. It's a phase hound, but it's mutated. It's larger than it should be. It's got scars and marks all over it. And its eyes are completely devoid of intelligence. Its mouth covered in what you believe is blood and from its last kill. This thing's been attacking the outlying settlements for some time. And due to its nature, it's very hard to track, very hard to fight. The party moves in to the clearing. Garrett in the lead, and then the rest of the soldiers in like a triangle formation behind him. So each side's covered, but they can attack. The beast appears in front of them, takes a bite at one of the soldiers, who skillfully misses. Doesn't manage to get a counterattack off, but no one's hurt. And then time seems to move forward a bit. There's a couple of soldiers on the floor not moving. The phase hound's got some gashes in its body. It's frothing now at the mouth with rage. The officer in charge of the party is injured. Blood.
Vanya, roll me a concentration check quick. As you're whizzing through these memories, there's a lot of combat occurring. You're flicking from one moment
Here we go.
to the next. There is a brief moment where, well, how would you lose concentration, Vanya?
I think because it's like it's flickering and so much is going on, and she's trying to see where Garrett is, and she's just trying to like focus on what is going on, but is kind of getting lost in the battle.
It's at this moment where the edges, like before, seem to shimmer. Something changing, the influence of an external force, or perhaps something within you. And for a brief moment, this phase hound seems to jerk, turn its head towards your location. Just as it's tore out the throat of one of the guards, it seems to inhale. Can you all make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
I can't because I don't have a token.
Don't have a token.
I'll just do it normally.
Okay.
From my sheet. Natural 20.
Bear with.
No worries.
Wrong button. Got to move a few things.
I can put a token down if you want a token.
Nah, you're right, mate, don't worry.
Garrett, this perhaps surprised by something that this is not a memory. This shouldn't be happening. You are the one who basically you're the only person who takes this. 21 points of cold damage as this phase hound seems to twist, contort. Its head snaps almost at a impossible 90-degree angle towards you all. And as it begins to inhale, this shard, this almost rolling cloud full of razor-sharp icicles just washes over you.
That'll be 10 points of damage then, because I'm resistant to
Uh-huh.
damage.
It's then at that moment where the face hound snaps back to as it was, goring the man on the ground. Dorian, Cypher, Reza, Vanya, you didn't see that at all. You saw just the scene play out as normal. It was only Garrett who not only witnessed this distortion of his memory, but took some psychic damage from it. Not as in actual psychic damage, but it's in the dream world. This is not true, actual physical damage, but well, that's unusual. Carry on.
Remember where I was.
Gotcha. Two guys were gored on the ground. Not getting.
Yeah. The lieutenant steps forward, aims his longsword at the creature, and juts forward just as it teleports behind him. His jaws crunch round the lieutenant's body. He's shaken, his neck's broken, he falls dead to the ground. Knowing that they're in dire situation, Garrett runs, twilight steps, and lands on the back of the creature and hangs on with everything he's got as it teleports from side to side to side, trying to buck him off and teleport away, but Garrett holds true. And he's got hold of flesh on this phase hound's neck, and from the center of each of his palms, a side blade comes out into each side of its jugular, and blood starts spurting everywhere. The creature starts wobbling from side to side, and Garrett lets go with one hand to try and widen the cut, but then it's flicked off the creature's back, and he lands in a crumpled heap on the floor. Not unconscious, but a bit dazed. As one of his Red Guard soldiers comes, covers him with his shield, and helps him to his feet. And as they look over to the phase hound, it totters a few times and collapses. It's the wounds in his neck were enough to finish it. And all eyes are now on the battered and bloody Blackthorn. I'll go and take its heart. The rest of you collect our dead. We'll return them to the Queen. They died as heroes. And Garrett cuts the heart from the beast. To be made as a offering to the Queen of the Winter Court. The image then flickers again and again and again, and each flicker, the battered group with their dead friends gets closer and closer to the home city. And once they return to the military encampment, the heart is presented to the commander, who then will take it and lay it in front of the Queen. The soldiers taken to...
Question. The Queen here now?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, she's in her area.
Yeah, so yeah, you basically just see them not so much handing it to the Queen, but just passing it on from Garrett's point of view, at least.
Yeah, Garrett hands it to the commander, who will then take it to the Queen when he travels a distance to where she is. The rest of the soldiers are taken away to get food and medical treatment, but the commander asks Garrett to stay. I need a Lieutenant Blackthorn. Do you think you're up to the task?
Go back to the military encampment scene that we had earlier.
Mm-hmm. Nice. They needed command, I gave it. We came away victorious. If you think I'm the man for the job, I will do my best for you and the court. And he looks over his shoulder and he can see the eyes of all the members of his party, smiling, nodding. They've already accepted him as in a command role before anything had happened. It's a foregone conclusion. And now Garrett is a lieutenant, commander of men, exactly in the position his father wanted to install him as. It's taken a bit longer, but Garrett knows things now. And the white wall descends once again. And we're back in the corridor.
Is what you'd like to say. But Vanya. That roll earlier was a 2. Your mind is elsewhere, or maybe whispers in your ear would perhaps be a better phrase to use. Because what happens as you phase out of this memory of Garrett becoming a commander of the Red Guard and the Winter Court forces, the sound around you begins to turn from that of laughing, congratulatory commotion to shouts. Sound of steel on steel, of spells being cast. And as this white haze fades in front of you all, you are met with what can only be described as a almost cataclysmic battle. Here, overlooking a stretch of the Fey realm, one side burning, another frozen. Magics coalescing in the distance as down below, two armies are in full swing of an all-out war. And that's where we'll end it today. That's where we will end it today. With Vanya.
What did you do? I blame Solution.
Vanya, you bring us to the best places, you know?
I mean, this is a really beautiful scene, so I don't know why you guys are upset. Like, look at all those beautiful colors.
It's beautiful. But with that said, 100% blame Vanya. Yeah. Yeah, we will call it there today, with you all stood looking over a battle by the likes you've never seen before. Well, most of you probably haven't seen before.
I've seen it.
I was there. Good shit. I've enjoyed being sort of co-DM these last few sessions. I'm not going to lie, it's nice. It's nice just learning everyone's stories. And it seems to be all coming together now. 80, what are we today? 26, 87 episodes of Pariahs, and we can finally say Garrett's from the Fey Realm. Vanya is from the worst possible school that opposes the vampires. The worst part of the world that opposes Novostoya. Cypher was a lab creation. Reza is a friend-murdering explorer.
Wow, okay. I can see.
Wow.
And Dorian, well, he is and has always been the darkness in the corner of wrath and ruin, fire and brimstone. Devil. Love it. So, with that said, there's obviously a little bit more to Garrett's story, and then the aftermath of what we find out next week.
Mm-hmm.
And next week is the 30th. Yes, excellent. We do have Vanya for that one. Any closing words? Anything anyone wishes to say?
Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye, chat.
Bye.
Remember, you can be a rogue without being emo and having a tragic backstory.
And also, see you next time on Pariahs.
Oh, dear.
Oh my emo and have tragic backstories. What the fuck?
All right, I'm gonna mute you lot up. Dear me. What can you say? But yeah, it's nice having DM so long just to be able to kind of sit back and let the players tell their stories. And we kind of all agreed it was about time we finally got all of the backstories out in the open for everyone. So, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we will be back next Sunday for episode 27. 27, yes. In the meantime, let's find someone to raid. And whilst I'm doing that... Rayvon, thank you again for the 5 gifted subs. Vexing Cat, thank you for the 30 bits. Gravel, thank you for the 22 months. Skull, thank you for the 16 months. Divrak coming in with the 36 months. Thank you, buddy. And of course, Sneezer, 66 months. Thank you very much. And the multiculturalist James, thank you for the follow. Who's doing stuff? That's the question we need to ask now. Adverts are started. Yeah, whoops. I mean, there's so many people to raid tonight. This is a rarity. Normally when I go to raid someone, there's no one around. Who haven't we raided in a while? That's a good question. Who haven't we raided? Vault Companions, sure, why not? Let's go over to Vault Companions and show them some support. Oh, actually, oh no, I've seen who we can raid. Where is he? Where is he? This mind of mine. I know you're there somewhere doing the Cyberpunk. There we go. We raided last week, but we're going again. We're going again. Alright, I'm going to waffle no longer. I've clicked the button. Everyone, thank you very much. Ta-ta for now.